Okay, welcome to day 7 of the trap only run. This is going to be the test to see if I can build a base that is going to allow zombies to sort of cycle over and over to try to get to me. The whole idea is I'm going to have them run up or sort of jump up to a platform and then try to run across this wall. And then as they try to run across the wall, they end up falling and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I saw this on a video, on a YouTube video not too long ago, and someone was saying that, you know, you could use this specific type of ramp to build this wall and the zombies will try to run across it because you can, I guess, zombies will hug the walls as they run. Or tend to hug the walls, so you can build a wall and they'll mistake it for an actual path and try to follow it. And so you can do this, and then they'll end up trying to run across it and then fall. So I figured I'll give that a shot. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work out which one works best and work out the specifics and details of it on the ground before I take it into the air and build it up there. I'm obviously going to go with the thinner one, which I think is the 06 or 08 ramp. Yeah, 8 millimeter or 8 meter ramp or whatever it is. That's the one I end up going with. I happened to stumble across a video in my feed on YouTube. A channel by the name of Bear Gaming just uploaded a video 2 days ago of a pacifist run, 7 Days to Die, where they get themselves to day 7, the day 7 blood moon, without killing anything. Which I'm like, I'm sure that seems like, oh wow, that's incredible. Like, after doing this trap only run, it's would be pretty easy. I mean, honest to God, I've learned so much doing this that it's like, yeah, I could I mean, half the time when I'm running around, I typically don't kill a lot of zombies anyway. I mean, because it's just a waste of traps. Not getting XP from zombie kills, you know, you learn how to get XP in other ways. Now, obviously doing missions, I could only relegate myself to fetch missions and buried treasure missions, if that were the case. But you can still find those missions. But ultimately, just doing that, selling whatever junk you pick up, and then running away from conflicts. Yeah, I mean, I can totally see it. I mean, I do that most of the time on the trap only run. I watched a little bit of. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was basically all 7 days, and his whole goal was to just get to 7 days. Now, obviously, you're not going to make a run like that work going deep into the game. And he probably understood that too. So, but I'm going to, my whole goal with this is to go deep. Like, I've already gotten to day 14 with trap only. So I'm going to try to go as deep as humanly possible with the trap run. And not to spoil anything, I will say today was spent doing some testing. I figured I'm not going to learn if I have to wait for regular blood moons to come through, you know, just practicing in game. It's going to take me half my life to figure this all out. So I was like, I got to use the debug mode and really put in some time and effort to work on building a base that actually can, you know, do what I need it to do. Which I guess is spoiler alert, this base doesn't work. I don't know if they changed how old that video was that I watched, or if they changed something in the recent updates, but I learned it pretty early on that this is just not going to work. I didn't understand exactly how it wasn't going to work at the time, but the way I determined it wasn't going to work, you'll see clear as day. But it didn't even come to that, really. There's a whole other reason why it doesn't work, and you'll see that when the blood moon starts, which I also saw too. Now, granted, as I was doing this, I was like, I can't I can't put all my eggs in one basket, and I can't just trust that this is going to be the base that's going to do it. Because if this base idea fails, I'm going to be in quite a bit of a pickle. So I ended up constructing a second backup base. That's my go-to day 7, just get it over with kind of protection base. And literally it's just a 3 meter by 3 meter. Well, it may be wider, but it's definitely 3 meter high. Not 3 meter, what do you call it? 9 meter high cube of cobblestone that I just line the perimeter with wood, steel, upgraded iron spike traps from wood traps. And then I also plop down wood traps as they get broken when the zombie mobs rush me. That was my backup failsafe, just in case anything goes wrong with the trial base. But today I spent that time in debug mode going and working out a design idea, multiple different design ideas, and spawning blood moons, spawning enemies, and just honing it, and figuring out what works, figuring out what doesn't, really building a lot of different designs and mock-ups of trying to get something to work. And eventually I got it. I finally got to a point where I feel like I have what I need. I have the base design, and honestly, it's so insanely simple. It should be criminal, actually. It's you'll see it, because I'm gonna you'll see it when I do my next blood moon, because I'm just gonna build it right off the bat, because it'll last for all of them. By the end of the blood moon I was testing it on, I was spawning in irradiated zombies, irradiated marine, army cops, feral whites, screamers, the whole 9. I was just spawning them in left and right. Be like, come on. I had the werewolf, dire wolves or whatever, and everything trying to get to me, and I kept them at bay the entire night. I was happy.
Do you want your gray jacket? Huh.
I'm doing something. Just do whatever you want to do. So that is going to be my next design idea, or that I'm going to implement. And as long as it works as well as it did in debug mode, it should work flawless. I mean, it should be perfect. And it's so insanely simple. I can't, because everything I've been doing up to this point, this design was going to be a little simple once I worked out, exactly what it is I needed to do or was trying to do. It ends up just being basically that wedge and like the base where I'm going to stand, the wedge, and then the little staircase that they're going to come up. That's it. But I end up adding to it when I end up modifying it a bit and adding to it when I realize that when I get scared about the prospect of something happening, and then it's all for naught. But like I said, like here I am testing all of this and taking advantage of blood moons to test things out, which if I was being legit, that should be the way I did it. But that means I'm going to go through a lot of runs, a lot of runs failing, which could be fun for a viewer, I suppose. But for me, it's not going to be fun. But I'm really amped about this new base, raid base. It's so insanely simple, yet it's insanely effective. So I don't know. And I changed it to, I don't know how much of an effect it had, because it's like you can change the day to whatever, but I think that it doesn't, the world just generates zombies over a certain course of time, I believe, because I had it set to day, what was it, 70, a day 70 blood moon. So I was getting all of the enemies from day 70, but then I didn't start really seeing a lot of the irradiated stuff that I wanted to see, to really see how that was gonna. So I had to start manually spawning that stuff in. But just going crazy with spawning it, at that point, because I was like, man, they're just, nothing's getting through. So, and I made it through the whole night. I was very, very surprised. I really want to just focus on that and show everyone what I've come up with. Show everyone, Jesus. That's the one thing, like, watching that, when I've stumbled across that pacifist run, I'm like, well, that's great. Like, somebody's doing something similar to what I'm doing. Of course, they have way more subscribers than I do and way more views on their video, but that's, going to happen when you have a more popular channel. And I'm just really starting this out. I've had the channel for a long time. It's been multiple iterations of different things, this mutually assured destruction channel. But now I'm just focusing on 7 Days to Die content. I feel it's weird to me because it's like I feel like a weight's lifted, and I knew that was going to happen. I knew that once I got to the point where I solved the raid base, man, I hate that. When I solved the raid base conundrum, I knew the rest of the gameplay was going to be different. It was going to improve, because that frees me up to do a lot of stuff when I don't have to constantly reinvent the base because that ends up becoming a real droll of, item management, resource gathering, and constant just changing designs, repairing things, and just finesse, work. And I just didn't want to do it. But I'm now at a point where it's going to be good. Don't add one more. Yeah, there you go. It's going to be just fine now. So once I build this base, I should be able to, I didn't have it built up to the degree I had it built up to when I was doing the day 70 test. But that's because I also assume that if I'm running a day 70 test and I have all these like day 70 blood moon zombies appearing, I'm going to have to, I'm going to have these materials available in order to do this. So everything's like steel reinforced concrete at the bases. And that's going to be possible at that later stage. I can get all the way to, I can probably, if I really put a lot of heavy focus on it, I could probably get to concrete by day 14. If I really, really, really push it and really focus on buying all the forge books I can find, searching high and low for all the forge books I can get, and just really focusing a lot of things on forge, I should be able to get to the concrete mixer by then. If not then, by day 21, absolutely. That's not even a question. I'll have it by day 21. And day 14 with this build, it should be fine. It should be fine enough as is with just cobblestone. And concrete will carry me for a while, but once I get the crucible and the steel, once the pillars are steel reinforced concrete, that's what's going to carry me into the late game. But the design's never going to change. I'm just going to be upgrading the material that I've already built, and then it'll all eventually just be steel reinforced concrete, and I'll just be running through it. Is this where I figure it out? It's coming up. There's a point where I figure out the fatal flaw of this design. If it worked as physics works, it should, but then again, zombies wouldn't try to walk the wall like some parkour expert if that were the case. Oh, look at me wasting material. And I do this thing where I'm like, okay, now I got to jump up to the top and run across, blah, blah, blah. I should have figured it out right there when I was able to jump up a 6-meter wall. It should have dawned on me that something was awry. But nope. But the true comedy comes after I get this built, and I'm like, it was like the moment when my heart just sank. Like, oh man, I just wasted all of my time. Because right now I'm mostly focusing on this because I want to get this fully built before I start on the Plan B base. But the Plan B base happens immediately after I realize what I've done, what's happened, you know. And there I realize, oh, well, zombies will just be able to jump up there and run across the top. So now I got to block the top off, which is what I'm about to do. I forgot how I do it, but why am I doing it with those? Oh, that's right. I think I used the, I don't do that. I think I used the half block. That never does what I want. I always think that I'm going to be able to rotate it around and have it jut out, but that's not it's a whole different block space. So I always forget that aspect of it. And not being able to find what I want, I end up resorting to I think it's a half block that I use. I'm thinking about it. Oh, I do a cube. That's interesting. No, I don't do a cube there, do I? No, half cube. That's what it is. No. I should have known right there how I'm still just doing this and not. I probably do get a little curious at this point because I'm like, wait a minute. I was able to just jump up that wall. Something's off. And I get into once I realize it's not going to work, I just start a mad scramble back to my base to fire up the forge to make some steel because I know I'm going to have to make I'm going to have to redesign it. I build it up like this and we're doing all this, and I realize, oh my God, I gotta do some redesign work because while it's going full slant up, I think that was what I kind of see. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm still like, la da, everything's fine. But I think the video that I saw had the and you'll see me try to do it. Once I realized my problem, I changed the design to do this thing where it's like two ramps meeting each other, like one inverted and one upright, and it doesn't work either. I thought that might be the fix, but nope. I forgot how I did the other side there. My God, I'm trying to make it all fancy. Yeah, there we go. That was a mistake. I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't think any vultures spawn day 7. Is this where I figure it out? This feel... No. Oh, I felt it. Well, once I get it fully done where I think it's going to be, yep, here's where I should figure it out. I was like, wait a minute. It's like something's wrong. And I was jumping while I did it, but now I just run or walk or run or whatever. I figured it out. It's not going to work. And then I just run back and forth. It's like, uh-oh, this is not good. Because essentially, if that's being treated as an actual just block that you can move on, then the zombies are just going to walk across thin air, just like I'm doing. I do it over and over in disbelief because I'm just like, my God. Do I try it slower? I think it fully sets in, I think, when I go across slow. This is me thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to try to do the inverted ramp thing. But then my pickaxe goes to, you can already see the quality starting to diminish, so I have to stop and run back and get a repair kit. Now, I didn't try to do a thicker, what do you call it? I use the same thickness as the bottom one. I basically just clone it and then flip it over. Yeah, just like that. And I think, well, maybe that'll do it. Nope. Maybe the other way. Nope. I'm just like, oh no. And I continue to work on this thinking, oh, maybe I can salvage it. Maybe I can. No. It's 12:07. I mean, I have plenty of time, but I'm just like, I will not give it up. And this is a weird oddity. Like, I can't attack the block from the top. I think because it only registers the face, maybe, and the face is like a knife edge. So I have to, since I'm not getting my reticle right on that razor line, it's not going to determine anything's there. Now I got to go deal with that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I try to get him to come up because I figured, ooh, a test subject. And this should have told me everything I need to know right there. Like, he's not even trying to come after me, the path. He's just trying to destroy the structure. I should have known right then and there. But no. I begrudgingly try to lure his ass over. I'm going to run him through the spikes, obviously, but... He died. I mean, now I know. I mean, obviously, I've already been through it, but after today's testing, I know a great deal more about what zombies will do and won't do, and also a lot of the horse shit that's out there in these videos, like use this block. This block is a no-go for zombies. That stuff doesn't apply anymore. I can tell you that right now. Like zombies will go through a lot of those blocks that people have made videos about saying that, oh, this is like an invisible force field for zombies. Not anymore. Just keep whacking away. I want this base to work so bad. I guess that was my point. I need to give it the old college try. I had to put my best foot forward, and if it doesn't work, I'll always have the backup base, but I don't want to just like assume it's not going to work and immediately just move on to my backup base and be like, meh. I'm going to give it the best chance I can give it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but at least I've given it my all. Might as well just take it the rest of the way down before I go. It's already set up. $13.37. So yeah, I think it's like, because I'm doing plan B base. I guess I wonder if I start it up now. I can't remember if I start the forges up now or not. Now I'm building out the spike traps so I definitely know I'm doing the backup base, but I haven't started the forge yet. That's my last ditch effort to try to stave off, because I'm still convinced that those zombies are going to just walk across that platform, and that's why it's not going to work. Yeah, I'm building backup base now. So you'll see it toward the like minutes before the blood moon starts. I'm like scrambling to forge iron. And oh yeah, the thing. I totally forgot about it until just now. A weird glitch happens. I've never seen it happen before. But it's like, it really disorients me. I'm glad I had enough material on me to get my way out of it, because it could have been catastrophic at that point. I don't know what it is about this design, but it's got some questionable. I don't know. It's Something about it. I don't know. I spend way too much time digging in the dirt. I realize that now. Like, I don't need to do any of this. Well, the problem is that I built this, my second base on this hill. I should have moved the whole thing to a much flatter region. I mean, assuming you can find one in this biome, but I should have found somewhat of a flatter region to build this and not built it against the hill, because this caused me to have to build this elaborate cobblestone back half that ends up being where all the zombies come. So it's like, I mean, I'm glad I built it up the way I did with now knowing all the zombies came from that direction, but it's like, I don't know, all this digging it just takes precious time. Time I don't have. Because, you know, I want a flat surface to put traps on. You see? So more digging in my future. Yeesh. This is where I keep messing up. It's 100, not 1,000. So I do 150. Dig, dig, dig. Well, cut down that tree and then dig, dig, dig. It's 1512 and I'm still like just digging away like an idiot. But I think there's a method or a reason for this. And well, no, because I could have built it up higher. Because my other base is a slightly higher. So I could have laid all that cobblestone block on top of this area and then just built it up 3 meters higher than what it is now and not have to do all this stupid digging. And the effect would have been the exact same. Except for it would have taken less time and less headache. Yeah, I don't even think I do that. I still look at this and I cannot figure it out. I try to understand what it is about this pattern that caused what happens. And I don't know if it's the cause of it, but that is going to get me. I mean, I just I don't understand it. I think I actually do put a roof on this, maybe. Oh, that's what it is. Could it possibly have been that? I don't know. I put a center post, supported roof. Yeah, I'm testing out to make sure I can jump across when I need to. Jumping back's a little more difficult, but which oh boy. And I still was able to run across. I'm like, it hits me now like I know what I now need to do. Or at least I have an idea of what I need to do. But I still have so many other things I still need to do on this end. And it is just time management. So I'm building this to reinforce my. Actually, I don't even think yeah, now I realize I didn't even finish the roof. I just built that. And that alone causes a glitch that I just simply cannot explain. thinking about it. Don't do it. It's just a waste of time, man. Yeah, this is about the time when I also realize I'm going to need a lot more wood. And that I foregone so many things, I'm gonna have to like play catch up. Yep, here's where I know what I need to do. Oh, wait a minute. That yeah, I'm still preparing for base 2. I was gonna do my upgrade my wood spike traps to iron spike traps. That's what that's for. I'm not even doing the thing yet. I was saying it's a little early for me to be preparing for that. That was such a last minute scramble. That's why it's funny to me, like, to do this as commentary after the fact, because it's like, it's the commentary on this day was so much more interesting in the sense of me like puzzled with why that isn't working and what the effect was going to be or how the zombies are going to, approach. And then when it all falls apart, my reactions were pretty typical. But I definitely am like, I gotta have more wood. I think I was trying to get it back up to 3,000 at least. But that's what I meant. Like, I didn't, this entire run, I had been just kind of completing missions and running around and doing a lot of stuff that was just, not gathering material. And there's a reason I started doing that, because I realized on my last run that I was doing a lot of this with like the stone axe and the stone shovel and all these low level tools, and it was just taking extremely long periods of time to get these resources when I don't really need them at that point. I'm kind of hoarding these resources at this point and over preparing for stuff. What I needed to do was focus more on getting experience up and getting my skill points up, getting my, getting books and whatever and learning. But instead I was wasting a ton of time mining and cutting down trees with inferior tools. So this run, I decided to do the opposite and focus more on getting my everything up to par, or getting all my knowledge up as fast as possible and try to get to iron, high level iron, if not steel, not by day 7, obviously, but to basically focus on that more. And so the lack of materials became very, very apparent right around this time. But I didn't start really gathering resources for this until midway through day 6. So I was lucky to have kind of cobbled it together in the limited amount of time I had to do that. But it also confirmed my point that this stuff, like, you can make stuff happen like real quick with better tools. If I was doing this from like day 1, day 2, and just using low level stone tools the entire time to gather resources, it'd take me 3 days to get where I was able to get in half a day with iron tools, so it's best to just focus more on getting that knowledge up and unlocking those tools and then using those instead. Better time management, I guess you could say. trying to make it easy for the zombies to get up. Because I don't want them just like staying below where my spikes are and hammering away at the dirt. It's like I need them up there running into the spikes. That's the entire point. Me in those corners. That kind of makes me realize, like, uh-oh, I really need to start speeding things up. I think I make a mistake, set a block down where it doesn't need to be, and when I start to rush, man. Like, oh crap. I only left myself one space for... I hate it. Like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, I just made an oversight, but it is what it is. $18.30, and I still don't have all my forged iron yet. More spikes, traps. Going to get my forged iron, then I'm going to run back and reinforce some of those, about 10 of them, to be iron spikes. And then it's going to occur to me. The waste of time idea that I scramble for the last remaining minutes before the blood moon starts. Yeah, I could have jumped across and done it from the top, but maybe I finally figured that out. Yeah. It's like, why am I trying to do it from down there? That's stupid. And one more time I figure out that's just not going to work. $19.07. Taking my sweet time, jeesh. I think they're all coming from that side. It's funny to me now, like I'm just over preparing on that side, and that is like the side that they don't come to. Here's where I think I figure it out. I'm putting it together. It's like, do I have the time? Do I have the time? I'm going to go back to the forge and craft 4 more. Well, is it too? It still may be too early. I may be running through the checklist of things that I think I need. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I know I feel like 9 waters isn't enough, but that's just me. Oh yeah, apparently not. I haven't made the decision yet. We're getting so close now. It's like I just can't get over it. I'm like, man, they're gonna run right across, and here I'm gonna be here just waiting for them. I'm gonna be watching as they just speed run right across there. That's where I do it slow, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way. That was the point in which I realized this whole base was for nothing. So I do the only thing that I know to do. See, I was thinking about taking chunks out and then just making a straight shot down, like right in the middle. But then I thought that that's just going to disrupt the flow, and then they won't follow the path. Which, you know, I'm glad I didn't, because then it answers some questions for me at the very least, leaving it the way it is. But now I'm going to do the last thing I do before the blood moon starts and ship out this one section and then run back to the forge, get 8. Oh, I'd go ahead and do it now, apparently. Yeah, I figure I need the time for the forge to smelt. I got to make 8 forged iron bars, because I got to make an iron hatch that I'm going to put across there to try to block any zombies that run across. I was like, well, I can't really go back. I'm gotta sit here and painstakingly wait this out. And boy, I just remember watching that countdown. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna, because I still have to craft the thing after I get the forged iron. It's like, Jesus, talk about down to the wire. And I still have to cut out that one section and then put it in. So it's like every second was like a minute, is what it felt like. My last bastion of hope for that raid base is this right here. I don't know why I shut the door. They're not going to go to the base. I got plenty of time. I don't know what I'm thinking. Look at that, 2040. I guess I was thinking I could do something on that end, but what's the point? Shipping at the wrong one. That's when I realized I was shipping at the higher one. Like I was even doing it not the right way. I guess I'm going to do something. Oh yeah, I'm going to put a block up there so they can't jump over the gate or the hatch. Oh, I do a scaffolding ladder. Now is not the time for experiment, man. Which is kind of dumb now that I think about it, because putting that there, if they did run across, they could have just jumped up on that scaffolding ladder and then walked right over the top. So I don't know what I was thinking. But regardless, it's not like it matters. Oh, look, I had plenty of time. I just remember it being so, like, tense. You're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm trying to get this done as fast as humanly possible. I had plenty of time. And that was it. That's basically all I wanted to do. That way, if they ran across, they'd slam into my my hatch and then fall down, hopefully. But, yeah. And then the blood moon is the true test. I just can't get over it. What else am I trying to do here? Oh, I'm going to build that across just to prevent anyone from, because I'm so obsessed now, like they're just going to run across the top. I think that was when I realized the scaffolding ladder was probably going to be an issue too. That filled me with a little hope. That right there. I was like, maybe it finally works. But nope. Now it's just 20 more minutes till abject failure. I laugh about it now because it's just so funny. Like, I'm so ready to watch those zombies like pop up that little stepping stone staircase on the other side and then just run right across that open space, but this is the part that I hate, when it's like that last 10 seconds. It's like, oh man, just get to it. The calm before the storm. And we're off. And immediately. Yeah, I kind of want to see what's going to happen, so I leave that open. Then it's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. They're all running to where I'm standing. I was like, no. This isn't what's supposed to happen. And it occurs to me, yeah, that's not a path that they can run. It's a path I can run, but it's not a path they can run. They'll just avoid it. So I was like, shit. It's like, so I guess backup base is my only option at this point. And of course, they all start migrating over to backup base. And this is what I try to do for the rest of the night, is just defend my position on that cobblestone slab. But this is around the point when the glitch happens. Well, one of two things happen that are notable. The glitch happens, and I make a huge mistake that almost ends my run. There's the glitch. I cannot explain what just happened, but I just fell right through the center of my own base. And there's no hole. I just fell through, and I gotta cut my way out. Or back up. There's no hole. I literally just glitched through it. And then I forget that I forget those that center post is there. That cobblestone center post that I was going to build my roof on. Yeah, that comes down on me. Oh, love it. Gotta love it. So I just go ahead and reinforce the center so that can't happen again. Hopefully. And then, bada bing, bada boom. Back to, well, I survey the damage, and this is where I make a critical error, because when I do this, I crouch. And the reason why I crouch is because I move too fast if I'm not crouching. And if I move too fast, sometimes when you're planting these, you're kind of edge walking, you can inadvertently do something to cause yourself to fall off the edge. This is what it is mostly for the whole night, is just a lot of laying down traps, repairing traps, not repairing, but replacing traps, and letting them just run into them to their own demise. Except for my one goof. That's the only actual excitement for the blood moon. I don't know why I stack those, because when I stack them, it's harder to replace the ones that get destroyed beneath it. So you're really close to the edge, man. There it is. I was like, oops. And then I make things. It's just, that's the critical error. It was like, falling, I can understand. I was fine, but when I missed that jump and then fell right into the spikes, that was like, oh boy, so close to death. So close to death. They just attacked the structure. They're not even interested in following me. Going back over. There we go. And then I figure out what I did wrong. Crouch. And I basically stay crouched for the rest of the night. Now it's literally just like, 6 hours of this. But this is the tried and true. This is not really a strategy, so to speak. I think any 7 Days to Die player, when they first start the game, probably. No, I think a lot of beginner players try to put themselves in houses and reinforce the houses and whatnot. I don't think they build structures like this outside and do this, but it works in its simplicity and its basic construction. I mean, it gets the job done for night 7. I can't complain. The really crappy part about it is that I surround the perimeter with wood spikes, but I think if I do it in the future, which I doubt I will, but if I ever have to do this in the future, I'm just going to start laying spike traps down when the zombies appear, because they will kind of move around a little bit, but then they almost always stay centralized to one area that they come up from. So it's like all these other spikes are just useless at that point. They just, they're just there. I could save myself so much, so many resources just by focusing on where they are, and that's the fault of that sloped portion. Since I didn't build it too out, here I keep building it up too high, and I won't be able to replace the bottom ones. But yeah, it would be so much easier for me to just do that instead. Because by the end of this, I got at least 2 sides that I think aren't even really touched. Because they all come up this hill or from the left. Yeah, where all my metal spike traps are, like, that's not where they're coming from. And it could be because of the metal spike traps, I'm not sure. They may be going to the section with the least, or is it the whatever. And also the most exposure. I mean, because that's only got one row of traps, and it's got that whole dirt area below it. But they didn't really chew through the dirt either. They really did just try to climb their way up. And to say that I even need to focus that much on traps to be, at all is saying a lot, because ultimately they could probably hammer away on that cobblestone structure. If it was solid all the way through, they could probably hammer away at it all night long and never really get all the way through it. I mean, these early Day 7 Blood Moon zombies aren't particularly strong, and there's not enough of them to really do a heck of a lot of damage. I do hate this. I mean, I have to say my new raid base is not, it's different than this, but it's as tedious. It's just as much sitting around and watching things happen. I mean, because obviously I'm not using guns, I'm not using bows or knives or anything, no weapons, and I don't have access to the electrical traps, so it's basically all just like, riding the storm out, as REO Speedwagon would say. But that was by design. That's the way I wanted to have that base designed to be, because ultimately I even have a lot of reservations about building a base with electrical traps, because I feel as though that's going to take a lot of resources, upkeep of a lot of resources, and most of my time between blood moons is going to be spent just gathering up resources to keep these traps going. So if you have a bad base design and that's heavily reliant on the actual defenses, and those defenses start to falter, then the base will go pretty quickly after that. But if you've built a base that is pretty rock solid and on its own and can withstand the Horde Knight almost virtually, as a freestanding structure, then if you can complement that with traps, then that's an even better situation overall. Now, the base design that I'm working on now, I don't know if I can incorporate. I don't think I can incorporate traps into it. And you'll see when I build it why it may not happen. I mean, it could, but it just means that it's going to get way, way, way bigger. Way bigger. But that's not a problem. I mean, it's only a problem if I start building it the way I built it initially when I was testing it. If I take into consideration that I'm going to have catwalks set up for maintenance, well, shit, I would need I need catwalks for the actual traps, and I'd have to have maintenance channels as well, so I could repair any traps or reload and repair any traps along the path. That drastically increases the overall size of this thing, the girth, the massiveness of it. I mean, and the base itself is, I mean, compared to what I've created here, this base it's simple, but it's massive as far as like the amount of space required. It takes up a lot of space, but it's so simple. It's insanely simple. Simple and effective. I'm already down to one wood trap. I have to craft more wood traps because I'm just plowing through them. It's like I should have I could have been more mindful and just focus them more where they're going to be, which is all I'm doing now. But You can see I'm just plowing through them now, even taking that approach. So all the stuff in the back could have been traps that I had available. Just a tedious slog. They're starting to get a little jumpy. But I think I've gotten this base to work on day 14, but I can't remember. Yeah, they're chewing through the lower level, as you can see. Yeah, I totally regret building this on the side of a hill. But, I mean, with 30 more minutes of the Blood Moon left, it's a done deal at this point. I mean, I could literally stop putting traps down and be fine. I think I actually decide that. Maybe not. Maybe I put a few more down, but there's not really much they can do at this point. So this Day 7 Blood Moon is coming to a close, and that will end this episode. Thank you for watching, and stick around for more trap-only run, and I will keep pumping them out. So...